Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sandbox's AMA for the Builders Challenge. I'm Alex Flores, joined here by Nicola Sebastiani, the Chief Content Officer for the Sandbox and CEO of our USA office, Mathiew Severity, our partner's Ecosystem Director, and PJ Bouvier, the Game Maker Fund Program Manager. Want to welcome you all. We are going to be answering your questions about the Sandbox's Builder Challenge. We have already collected some questions, and we are going to put a link in the chat where you can fill out a form to ask some more questions while we're live. We'll also be keeping an eye on the chat itself. So if I can pass it off to Nicola here, he's got some words for you.
Thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. This is the last week of the Builder Challenge. It's been extremely exciting for the whole Sandbox team to host it and to see all your experiences appearing on the map, competing, but also collaborating. It's been amazing to see the community of creators coming together to it. So we hope that it is the beginning of a great new phase and program for the Sandbox. That is at least what we expect. We hope you had a lot of fun like us doing it. And I think PJ has a few slides for you to review with some numbers and takeaway from this first Builders Challenge. So PJ, up to you.
Yeah, thanks, Nicola. Hi, all. Yeah, we were so happy to see everyone participating in the Builders Challenge. It was great to see all creators coming up with awesome ways to engage the community. And we're so glad to see that we've had a lot more new experiences on the Sandbox since the launch of the Builders Challenge on February 12th. We've had 317 new experiences launch, and we've seen some really, really awesome stuff. We had experiences from creators that were known from their community for a long time. We had experiences from game jams, experiences from brand new creators. It's been really a great ride. Overall, we've seen 560 eligible experiences on the map for the Builders Challenge that were created by 356 unique creators. There really were a lot of you guys out there participating. So far, we've distributed 100K of the sand pool from the 1 million sand pool, and there's 900K left to distribute. We've seen you guys engage with so many of our players. There were over 100K total visits on all of your experiences. Right. So Alex, now I think we're going to go to the question answering section of our AMA.
Sure, we've got a few questions already lined up here. So our first one is from Sandhelper. They ask, do you plan on doing more builder challenges?
The answer is yes. We think it has been an uplifting experience for the community. We think it's fun. It brings creators together. It brings players. It is a way to reward you. So there will be more. We want to learn what we did right. We want to learn how to improve. So give us feedback. PJ is going to talk a little bit more about how to do that. We obviously been listening to everything you told us on social, in email, and phone calls with you directly. But yes, soon, I'd say within the short next few months, there will be more coming and announced as far as Builder Challenge.
All right. We also have a question. Why does the reward distribution seem to be behind schedule?
Yeah. On this topic, I'll answer that question. So reward distribution were late for two main reasons. One of them is that we were investigating a lot of suspicious activity from a couple of experiences. And the other one, it's our first time distributing sand rewards like this for the Builders Challenge to creators. So there was a lot of moving parts within the company to make this happen. And we know that we need to improve upon our internal processes in order to deliver rewards more quickly.
Sort of a follow-up question to that is, if we continue to do something like this, as Nicola has indicated that we are doing, are the prizes going to be going out in a more regular interval, like maybe just once a month?
Okay. So on this topic, we can't really answer yet. It is something we are exploring for future events similar to the Builders Challenge.
All right. Also, kind of a question for PJ. Where do you think we can improve for the Builders Challenge?
So on this, we've already identified a couple of areas where we want to improve. This is also a question we wanted to ask our community. We want to know how we can improve on that, and we will be sending out a survey to get your overall feeling on the Builders Challenge once it's finished. So we will be sending out this survey next week. A couple of areas that we've identified for improvement are, first of all, how we distribute sand on a weekly basis. Also, giving you guys more opportunities to engage the community, engage players in a better way, as well as potentially give you guys more tools to better get insights on how you've engaged players.
All right. A question coming from a couple different people here, Kick Us and Go West. Is the additional 500K sand pool being distributed among the top 10 overall games as previously stated, or will that be divided among all the developers? And what's the reasoning behind whichever side of the
Yeah.
answer that is?
Yeah. So for this one, first of all, to answer the first part of that question, the 500K pool then will be distributed amongst developers, the top 10 developers, not the top 10 experiences. What we've seen in the Builders Challenge is that, well, the basis of the challenge was to reward the most engaging experiences. And seeing how much positive traction and participation we've seen from the community about this, we decided to offer an additional incentive to the most engaged creators out there.
All right. Good clarification there. Um, And also coming from Gikis, it's not really a question, but he wants to congratulate the team. This initiative may well be the best strategic move they've ever seen on the platform. Uh, when is there going to be a celebration? I guess there's a question in there.
So we're kind of celebrating right now already, I'd say. That's for one. We might do an additional celebration in the upcoming 2 weeks. We are preparing a kind of a wrap up for the Builders Challenge, but for now, we can't say too much.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Maybe we can do a metaverse celebration on the Sandbox with all the creators.
there we go. Let's raid a social
I
hub.
think maybe just to add something here, I think we want also to celebrate all the good content and all the good mechanics, smart mechanics the creators have been putting in place. So we are looking into what has been done, and we want also to highlight those creators, meaning that we want to do articles, we want to do tweets, we want to amplify the success stories we are seeing at the moment within the Builders Challenge. That's something we are going to do. So we need your help to amplify these great success stories.
All right. Coming from Anonymous Hamster, when will Know Your Business be released at the Sandbox for studios? In a previous AMA, it was said that they needed to pass the KYC, Know Your Customer, but if you're a studio, you can't actually do it that way.
So, two things on this topic. At the very beginning of the Builders Challenge, we've set up a temporary process where you can give us your KYB information through a form that was shared on our FIQ that you can also get through our Discord ambassadors if need be. And after the Builders Challenge, we are in the midst of setting up a another KYB process similar to what we have for KYC, which you will be able to do through your Sandbox account.
All right. Anonymous Hamster also says that the prize pool is too big for the amount of winners. It's bigger than the event pools. Will it be reduced or will it be spread out to more winners?
So it's true that this year there is a big focus on creators, and you might have heard directly from Sebastian a couple of times. 2024 is the year of creators, and the reason behind that is that we believe with the new game maker and especially with the new role system, our tools enable creators to build more fun and engaging experiences. So as part of the new GMF model, we aim at incentivizing those fun production and these strong engagements. So yes, the idea behind this new model, GMF model, and Builder's Challenge, which is part of GMF, is also to spread the funds among more creators than what we've seen in the past.
Chocolate Parrot would like to ask, what is happening to all the GMF projects that were in the program before the Builders Challenge?
I'll take that one. So all these projects still exist. A lot of them have published on the Sandbox and are eligible for the Builders Challenge if they are on GameMaker 0.1, 0.9, sorry, my bad, and respect our other eligibility rules. So there's really nothing to worry about them.
All right. Also from Chocolate Parrot, are there any plans to make the challenges easier or fairer for new creators? At the moment, it feels a bit unfair because new creators don't have a chance of competing against experienced studios. This may be off-putting for newcomers.
I can take this one. So I want to reinforce the fact that this year there is a strong emphasis on all creators, not a happy few, but on all creators. And we want to support everyone to create and earn within the sandbox through mainly two elements. One is through education. As you might have seen, we are putting more and more content from newcomers to experts for creators. So you might have seen the creators portal launch a couple of months ago. We have been launching and announcing yesterday a builders bootcamp. So we are putting more effort into education, especially on new creators. That's number one. And number two, there are also other type of incentive like game jams for more entry level creators because they are using templates. So it's really for everyone. And we triple the number of game jams we are having and hosting this year. So once again, it's really for everyone, especially for new creators into our ecosystem.
All right, and the last question from Chocolate Parrot is, what happened to the Game Maker Fund and the Creator Fund? And well, we kind of just answered that the Game Maker Fund still exists, and I used to be in the management of the Creator Fund, so I'll answer that. The Creator Fund was really to get artists to fill up the marketplace, and because we've now opened up the marketplace where anybody who wants to be a voxel artist can upload, mint, and sell on the platform. The Creator Fund's not really a necessary part of the ecosystem anymore. It's a totally open platform for everybody. But there are still opportunities for artists to find our partner studios and to communicate through others through Discord to find potential jobs where they could work with the studio making assets for that if they don't want to just make collections on their own.
And there are also still the voxel contest happening.
Yes,
Play
absolutely.
is running, so it's another way to show your skills and to earn by creating into our ecosystem.
Yes, can't forget Panda's great contests. A question from Rowan is, can we get more default NFTs in the game maker, or maybe NFT consolation prizes for some entrants? Not all of us have the time or money to make or buy dozens of NFTs for our projects. Um, I'll take that one also. I'm actually in charge of selecting a bunch of assets that the Sandbox's staff artists have created and converting them to basic assets that will be available for everybody. So they're not actually NFTs, they will just be in the Game Maker. When you install the Game Maker, you're a brand new creator. And we already have a library of hundreds of assets in there, and that library is going to get a lot bigger in the coming months. So stay tuned. You'll be seeing lots of new stuff in there to play around with. Another question from Rowan is, what is being done about the cheats who submitted really rubbish, empty games to the challenge? Are they going to be banned for a number of poor quality uh, uh, experiences?
I'll take that one. So what we've seen at the moment is that empty experiences are really nothing to worry about. They're not really serious competitors. They have relatively lower numbers compared to other people participating in the Build a Challenge. And at the moment, landowners on the sandbox are also kind of free to do as they please if they want to submit an experience there. But honestly, we haven't seen MT experiences be an issue with our numbers.
All right. Question from Dr. Metaverso. What's the most surprising thing you've observed in this Builders Challenge? That's a fun one.
I'll think, yeah, that's a fun one, but honestly, I really like that question. What I've seen that was really surprising and almost a bit heartwarming is how much the community was engaged in this challenge. We've seen some really great engagement techniques. We've seen some awesome strategies on Twitter, people setting up their own leaderboards, doing collabs with other creators, doing daily quests. It was actually really cool to see and to check out. And I remember asking the community management team to update me on a daily basis to let me know, oh, what are people doing? What are they setting up? And it's been really awesome to see that. It was actually also good feedback for us to see and kind of was inspiring for maybe potential product updates. So yeah, that was really great.
I think it was also not surprising, but meaningful to see. You can't satisfy every builder, and that's why we used this as a little bit of a learning curve. We're gonna listen to what worked, what didn't, and we're gonna try to do better with the next one. But I understand that this challenge made some of you extremely happy, some of you a little more frustrated at times, and we'll try to adapt with what comes next. Overall, we think it's a great opportunity to spur you into bring your experience to life, publish them, get them to have players in, and have a more direct contact with us.
All right. From Espectaculo, if someone builds on their land something that isn't a game but a type of social hub, are they eligible for rewards?
Yes, 100%. It's if you're able to engage players on your social hub, yeah, not a problem.
I think there was a rule that there had to be some quests, some objectives. But you can do that in social hubs. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Question from Wapax. Will there be separate categories for big studios and small studios or individual builders in the future?
Um, yeah, I'll take that question. I understand that feedback. This is something that we're taking into consideration for future iterations of the Build a Challenge. At the moment, it's something we're giving some thought to.
All right. Ixura wants to know why there were no leaderboards on the Builders Challenge, or if you could know how you're doing against the competition. See other games analytics.
Okay. What we did is that in the email announcing that your rewards were ready on your claim page, you had the ability to see your rank of your experience. So you can kind of compare to other experiences. And we announced on our social media what were the top 10 for each week. So you can check out what the top 10s were.
Right. Go West wants to know what's better, 10 people playing for 30 minutes or 10 people playing over and over for 5 minutes, totaling the same time?
I feel that's a very good question. On this topic, it really actually depends on your game. Some games might be really good at doing that. Some games might be less. You might have a game where you can have people coming over and over and playing a really fun, repeatable experiences. We've seen that a lot for short games that are very good for speedrunning and that have leaderboards behind them. So I would say it depends on your game, and it would also depend on the strategy you have behind. Um, Both models work actually.
And there's no real difference as far as
In
tracking
the
the
end,
time, right?
true.
If they
That's
replay the
exactly
same
it.
experience for 30 minutes, in 5 sessions, that's the same as them playing it for 30 minutes in one session. All right, question from Tomp. Could you have waited to release 0.10 after the Builders Challenge, as it seems to have broken some of the games participating? I'm
Unfortunately, the product schedule is tied to a broader calendar. And if you think about it, we try to keep the sandbox very active. So, it could have been the Builder Challenge, it could have been a player focused event, could have been a game jam. The teams tested heavily on 0.10. So our expectation were that disruption were absent or minimal. We are very sorry if some of you experience disruption. Contact us, and we'd love to hear what happened.
Yeah, and I think right now, for the most part, 0.9 content will play in the 0.10 client. There may be some small bugs. I think there was an issue with ladders, but for the most part, it's backwards compatible, so it shouldn't be affecting too many things. Question from Vox Machina. It would be great for the builders who have big number. Sorry, I'm trying to read through this. Um, okay, this is more just feedback than a question. They
Mhm.
say it would be great also for the builders who have big numbers of unique players. In this way, they could reward those builders who onboarded new players to help the TSB ecosystem. So maybe like a boost
Mhm.
to unique visits over repeat visits.
Yeah,
We
that's interesting feedback.
definitely
Yeah.
are looking at more ways to gamify the whole builder challenge experience going forward. So that's good feedback. We
Yeah.
also enjoyed seeing your journey to San Carlos Box. So thanks for go spreading the goodwill of the sandbox.
Question from the Pickaxe Master, and I missed if this was in the presentation at the start. Um, what has been the total of all hours played during the Builders Challenge across all experiences? Do we have a number for that?
So we will be sharing that in our wrap up.
Okay, because the Builders Challenge is not done yet, so those numbers are still going
Yeah,
up.
Sunday. We're almost there.
Also from the Pickaxe Master, what can we expect next after the Builders Challenge?
I can take this one. So maybe another builders challenge. I think what we are trying to do here is once again to support more creators building and earning into our ecosystem. So we are going to look at the data to capture your feedback, your insights through the survey we are going to send you. And based on that, we'll adjust our plan. But there is a good chance that we will plan another builders challenge soon.
All right, Pickaxe Master also says, congratulations for the initiative to everybody. Question from Tempest Studios. Is it possible to get the final results from the sandbox on our experience, as the emailed results didn't seem to match what they were seeing on the dashboard?
So about that one, we've had an issue with the information that was put in the emails during the first email distribution. We since corrected that. If this is still happening, we're gonna check this out.
All right. Go West would like to know if it'd be possible to get more analytics for our game than what is already on the site analytics dashboard. Analytics of hours played per day, average play time per day. The more data, the merrier.
Yeah, I agree. Improving analytics is something we want to do. At the moment, it's really something we're considering for the future improvements of the Build Challenge. In the survey we're going to send, there's going to be a dedicated part to analytics. So feel free to be as wild as you want and putting all the data that you want. We'll do our best to provide that to you.
This question from Touche is kind of in a similar vein to the analytics. Touche would like to know if it's a possibility to add more robust leaderboard mechanics that track which players completed certain tasks. It's hard to run events without tools showing how many players completed which quests, time to complete those quests, things like that.
Yeah, I understand that. On this topic, similar to what I previously said, analytics is something we want to improve upon. We'll take that into consideration for future improvements.
And the sneak peek is some of our team will announce more about what's to come and to release overall for the sandbox. This should come in weeks. So I hope that by then you'll have more visibility and clarity on what to expect, especially on the product side.
All right. Touche also asks, would catalysts be a possible reward from the Builders Challenge in the future?
Definitely. If you think that will be helpful, although Catalyst, yeah, that we definitely can do that.
Yeah, I mean you can use the sand that you earn from the Builders Challenge to buy catalysts and
Well, I
you
was
know.
thinking as we improve the Catalyst process
Mm,
with minting over time, but for sure we can reward with Catalyst if the community think it's helpful.
mhm.
Definitely.
Go West wants to know when Sandbox leaderboards. It's a lot of work for one person to keep track and verify, and they mean like if somebody sends a screenshot of their best time, things like that, using the back end system that we have for leaderboards.
Yeah. We get that. Thank you again for this feedback. This is something that we want to improve upon, something we want to be able to give our community at some point. At the moment, we can't really tell you when and how this will be delivered, but this is in our backlog.
All right, we've just got a couple questions left. Be sure to ask in the chat if there's anything that you want answered. We're going to be wrapping it up pretty soon. A question from J Dog: if our game has too many broken things in it to run, and we want to change the game to a totally different game, would the new game be considered for the Builders Challenge?
You can have as many game as you want. You are not limited to one game per creator. So technically, yes, as long as it follows our eligibility rules, it's not an issue.
Maybe I'm thinking of an edge case in here of if they have, say, one land, they've published a game to that land, and
Mm,
people played it like halfway through a week, and then they change it to a new game in the middle of the week. Uh,
That's great. I
it's
think that's
counted for both.
live operation.
yeah,
That's a continuously updating game. If that's a strategy you want to adopt, why not? As long as it follows the general guidelines,
Mhm.
you can and you're allowed to.
All right. Um, question from Pickaxe Master here in the chat. The Sandbox Leaderboard API release would also give freedom to create much more custom leaderboards on our own websites. I guess that's more of a comment. Uh, Looking forward to that being available to creators. All right, and we would like to circle back to a question that was answered at the beginning of the AMA, but maybe some people weren't here for the very start. The question of Why is it taking a while to see the rewards roll out for the Builders Challenge each week?
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, so I can take care of that question again. So at the moment, rewards were late for distribution for mainly two reasons. One being that we are taking the time to investigate a lot of suspicious activities that we've seen on a couple of experiences, and hence why this has slowed us down. The other one is this was our first time distributing sand on such a large scale to creators for this kind of event. So we know that we need to improve our internal processes to deliver things faster.
All right. And I think we've got one last question from Sparky Snickle in the chat. Would it be possible to offer support, tools, and education for builders who are not naturally business minded? That's a good one.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe you have that. And Mathiew, maybe you can talk a little bit about the various education programs and the boot camp and everything else.
Yes, once again, we understand that all creators are not studios or professional, and we want to support all creators. That's why we are putting a strong effort towards onboarding new creators through educational content through our creators portal, but also, as you might have seen, shorter also training with a live stream. We are launching also builders bootcamp. So there are plenty of ways to learn how to do things, especially with templates. Also, we've got a lot of new templates on new gameplay. You might have seen we announced them directly on our Medium article. The latest being around cooking simulator, backrooms, tower defense. So yes, plenty of elements around education to help new creators onboard into the Sandbox ecosystem.
I'd like to add also, we've got a great community of builders here. If you watch the live streams and you talk to people on Discord and start to get to know the ambassadors in our ecosystem, some of them have been really successful business wise in their dealings. So, looking at Lucas's right, my co-host on the live streams, he's been running a business doing marketing for people even before he was in the sandbox. So he's very business minded about SEO and contracts with partners and IPs and brands and things like that. So reaching out to somebody like him, I know Lucas is always down to have a good conversation with somebody and to help them learn. People like Tempest Studios are big into educating the community. They've had a lot of success working with brands and IPs. So if you're looking for people who can educate you on making contracts, making good deals, keeping yourself safe legally when working with those contracts, and figuring out how these business models work, how you monetize things like that. Definitely reach out to those builders who have studios and who are active in the community, because I'm sure that they would love to share that information with you. A couple more questions coming into the chat. Play Game for Fun says, in week one, there was an issue with showing experiences on the map through the search, and when clicking on the land, they had to relaunch the experience and also changed the single player issues with single player changing to multiplayer. And they didn't have any rewards from week two. Is it possible to track down the numbers? I guess there's some issues seeing the analytics from things that had to get republished. Maybe a support ticket they could reach out with that.
Yeah, we'll investigate that more in detail. If you could give more details about the issue you are having to our support team, we'll handle this.
All right. And Tempest Studios is here in the chat with us, and they mentioned that they are going to be doing that workshop on businessing and marketing branding experiences. So make sure you're following Tempest Studios on Twitter, watching them on Twitch. and they're very involved with all things Sandbox. All right. I think that's all the questions we have. Do we have any final words for the community?
Well, once again, thank you for participating. Thank you for following the AMA. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for putting all the efforts in making experiences, bringing players, promoting, and essentially helping lifting the ecosystem up. Thank you for being for giving when things are not perfect, and for celebrating when things work. And I hope you have enjoyed this 10 weeks that are almost over, and get ready for what comes next.
All right. Thank you, the three of you, for coming here to answer everybody's questions. Thank you all, the builders in our community who have been making awesome content and giving everybody a fun time. Thank you, everybody else who came to ask questions and learn about the sandbox. We are going to leave you here, but we hope to see you around for the next Builders Challenge and all the fun stuff that's coming. Make sure you download Game Maker and Game Client 0.10. Check out the awesome new features. Uh, it's it's a fun time. We're having a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Alex.
Take care.